all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly values, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey, how we doing, Crimsonites? Hope everyone is doing well on this Friday. We're going to do a little bit different type of wrap up. This week, I was talking about sign language. I was talking about it from the standpoint of being a psychological weapon and basically psychological warfare being practiced, whether knowingly or unknowingly, consciously or unconsciously, by many of the Black women in our communities. Be they our mothers, aunts, sisters, cousins, whoever these women are to us. Doesn't matter if we are men or women. I'm speaking communally at this point. Thank you, Ty Boxer said Princella sounds like Oswald Bates on A Living Color. This coinfernalization of my antebellum prerequisites, my Roman, and she does get into that space, right? She does. She will get into that space where you can hear the pimpology. You can hear the pimpology. Anybody who ever listened to a pimp, that's how they do your head. They say things and it's like, oh, but it don't be deep. You just think it be deep, but it's not deep. It's only deep if you don't know anything. Thank you, Simons. I heard you cut your finger real bad. Pray you're okay. Yeah, it's doing better. I got my little Band-Aid on there, but I got it pretty good. Not down to the bone, but definitely to the white meat. It was nice and open. It took it all night to stop bleeding. Really, I had it wrapped up. And it's one of them things where you can't do nothing with it, or else you break the scab and it bleed again. It's one of them. Them deep tissue wounds, it take a minute for them to start healing from the inside. So when I looked at it this morning, it had clotted, which is what I wanted it to do. So I could see the clot under the skin, but it's still kind of tender. Like I can't be doing too much or else I can feel it. You know what I mean? Like I can feel it. Yeah, you about to break the scab on it. And it's going to bleed again. You better stop. Yeah, I got it on. I got it kind of on down to the white meat. I got it pretty good. It's not the worst that I've ever gotten myself, but I got it pretty decently. But I want to thank Ty Boxing and Simon for kicking off the contributions, because we're actually going to cook. We are going to cook, okay, today. And wait, did somebody put, uh-oh. Let me pin it. I hate that I can't pin it from StreamYards, but I do want to pin because my wonderful mod, Nicole, put the link up so that I could pin it to the top of the chat. So thank you, sweetheart. I appreciate you, Miss Nicole. I appreciate my mods. I got awesome mods. But for all of what was said, if you don't know, a channel by the name of the Breakdown, A Woman's Perspective, hosted by Sister George and Concrete Rose. A few days ago, they interviewed Princella. They had her on, and it wasn't the first time that she had come to their platform. They had her on, and they were discussing her viewpoints, her perspective, and the title of that was Black Male Worship was keeping Black women at the bottom. And I find that, it's a lot of misnomers. We are going to clear up a lot of false premises that a lot of these little arguments are based on. And you'll get to see or hear the sign language be done. It was this interview that actually sparked me to go into the sign language, because I heard so much of it in the discussion between the three women. And I'm like, wow, okay. And it's not that we didn't know that it goes like that, but it does. I don't like the Black male worship. It's a lot of little phrases that I don't like because they don't mean anything significant. They don't mean anything significant. Okay. Black male worship is divestiture talk. That's, Blackistan, and you got to leave Blackistan, and, everything going wrong with the Black community is 100% at the feet of the men and their problem. The women have just been victims of it, and the women have just responded in the role of a victim. So what do you want her to do about the environment that the men have created because of their toxicity and their ineptitudes and their problems and how they go about things and their behaviors? And so women have just been victimized by these things. So you can't really blame the victim, you understand, for reacting like a victim. This is classic practical sign language. This is sign language in action. Okay. It's tripping me out that a lot of Black women talk like that about the lack of masculinity of Black men, because to be fair, Princella doesn't just say Black men. She means men, period. So her demographic of women, while I would wager that they were predominantly Black women because she's a Black woman saying it. She's got other women, other ethnicities and demographics of women that follow her, because she's not limiting what she's talking about to just Black male pathology. She's coming at it from a standpoint that being male is a pathology. Men in and of themselves, they're a walking pathology. They're a walking problem, just their whole nature. The whole nature of them is wrong. It's wrong. And women have been victimized by this nature. And women have also been brainwashed by males, generally speaking, in the society, to like them or to want them or to want to work with them or to want to support them or to want to be with them really at all. But that the natural position should be that the feminine is more dominant than the masculine. But the only reason that doesn't exist in these societies is because of the domination, the often brutal domination of men over women, which is ridiculous. And I wave it away with one wave and say it's ridiculous, because if the feminine was supposed to be dominant over the masculine, and that was the natural way of things, you can't tell me that hundreds of thousands or millions of years of human history don't bear that out. We have not been wrong about that since the inception of mankind in this world. We haven't been wrong about that. The natural order did assert itself. It did. And it placed men, masculine energy, in the dominant position, and it placed feminine energy in the supportive position. It just did. And somehow that's supposed to make it bad. Since we're female, we happen to, I guess, have the misfortune of being born a woman and with feminine energy. So therefore, this is some type of hole we got to climb out of to get to a place where we can actually be dominant over the men like it's supposed to be. Listen, if we were supposed, power is not seated without force. Power is never handed over peacefully. There has to be force. If power is transferred with the stroke of a pen, please understand that there was either force or the threat of overwhelming force that preceded that. Power is not ceded, it is taken by a more powerful force. In other words, if women were supposed to be dominant over men, we could beat them up. Beat them and take it. It's as simple as that. Beat them and take it. You can't be asking for, first of all, you can't ask for power. You have to take power. You cannot ask. You can't ask a more powerful force to give you power or let you have power over them. You can't, by definition, if you have to approach them to ask them anything or to plead with them about anything or to reason with them about anything and get them to see your side so stuff can go your way. Like, if that's the case, you're automatically inferior in one way or the other. And there's always superior and inferior. There's always superior and inferior. There's no such thing as not being, listen. I may be superior to another woman in cooking ability, and she'll be superior to me in her ability to put on her makeup and dress well. She might dress better than me and put her makeup on better than her because I don't know how to put on makeup, really. I'll be messing it up. That's why I put it on. You see what I'm saying? I may be superior to one woman in the range of singing. She can't sing, but she's superior to me because she can draw. She's good at another art form. I may be superior to a woman in my academic smarts, but she might be superior to me in her life knowledge and her street smart. There's always superior, inferior. That just means number one and number two. So you'll have two men who are best friends. One man will be superior to his friend in the world of economics. He's the money man. He understands finances and economics and money. And then his friend will be superior to him in physical strength, working out, training. He'll be superior. So when they go to count money, one friend refer to the other one because he's superior in that knowledge. And when they go to the gym, the financially knowledgeable friend will defer to the other friend that know his way around the gym and he know how to work out. And you see what I'm saying? It's always inferior, superior. So there's no such thing as you're not going to be inferior some type of way. It's always that. Thank you, Damien. Said, just checking in. Glad you feel better. Cook them. Oh, we definitely going to cook. Thank you, Pharaoh. Thank you, Sway. Said, if all men decided women's rights as a whole were no longer a worthwhile venture, what exactly could women do about it? Just a question. Exactly. If men decided, all y'all headed back to the 50s. We is headed back to the 50s. No more independence, no more jobs. We're closing down the workforce to you. We're shutting off your ability to be entrepreneurs, to own businesses, to do all this other stuff that you think liberated you and made you independent. We're going to take that. You're not going to be able to go to schools. You're not going to be able, you going back to that house. You going back to all the things that they swear to God men wanted in a patriarchy, barefoot, pregnant, and stupid. Let's just say men wanted you like that, barefoot, pregnant, and stupid. If the collective of all men in a society decided that that's what the women were going to do, there's nothing you could do about it as a woman. You could cry. You can get out in the street. You can holler about it. And once they tired of you belly aching about it, and they get to getting serious with you, real physical about that, oh, you're getting back in the house. Matter of fact, we're going to put a curfew out. You're getting back in there. We don't want you in the workforce. We don't want you in school. We want you to do none of that stuff. All that stuff that you swore made you a strong, independent woman, all of that, we taking that back. We're taking it. You can't do that anymore. And you can squabble about how unfair it is. And you can get in that street and you can call yourself, you're going to boycott it, and you're not going to do it. When they start rolling around here blowing folks' brains out, just women, and say, oh, you're going to do it. See this one right here? Said she wasn't going to do it. We'll just get rid of her in front of everybody. And I'm making a very extreme example just to prove the point. What would you do? You willing to die in the street? You gonna mount an attack? Gonna get together and be what? A military force? Gonna fight? What will you do? I mean, physically, practically. What would you do? What would you do? I want to know how you're going to do it. Where you going to get the funding, where you going to get the weapons, where you going to get the training, because any woman that's been in the military, you went to a man's training ground and learned what you learned. And a lot of y'all go in the military to get the benefits. You don't go in the military to fight. So when they start trying to put you on the front line somewhere, y'all will pop up pregnant, say you can't go. It ain't a whole lot of women that want to pick them guns up and head to the front line of any war front and get shot at and have to shoot for her life and for the lives of her comrades. Not a whole lot of women built like that. Very few. They are the exception to the rule. We are built for survival by any means necessary. So we do not like to put ourselves in harm's way unnecessarily. We like to survive is what we like. That's what we like. And we like to do so in the most comfortable way we can. We don't like excessive hardship. We'll take a little hardship and then we want it to fall back so we can regroup. That is in our very nature. That is why we're selfish. That's why women are selfish, because it is self-preserving. That is a self-preserving trait. Our number one thing as women is self-preservation. Thank you, Miss Bella. So looking forward to this break a cook, Auntie. We definitely we're gonna get to, I'm just laying groundwork. Crimson Sadly, they also trying to put us back on the field. Thank you, Dee. Thank you so much. Hey, what's good, Miss Sister George? How you doing? Miss Lady Ma'am, thank you so much, sweetheart. So I'm just trying to lay groundwork, couple of false premises that I want to clear up before we get into it, because see, the entirety of her rhetoric is nonsense. It's nonsense. And it's nonsense because if it were true, the history of mankind in this world would bear it out. If matriarchies were more functional, practical, and better for societies and humankind at large, we would have had a lot of matriarchies rather than patriarchies. There's a reason why patriarchies pop up consistently, no matter what group, what time period, what era, what culture, what part of the world, doesn't matter. Usually a patriarchy is going to pop up as the dominant system. And it can have religion behind it. It can have no religion behind it. It can have whatever it is. Usually males go into domination because that's their nature. That's their nature. And since women can't physically outstrip them, that's what happens. There has not been a consistent, successful matriarchy in human history. You've had pockets here and there of small cultures or groups of people that relied on a matriarchy setup rather than a patriarchal setup. Usually they don't survive very long. I did a thing last year on the Masuo, which is matriarchal. They're Asian, small tribe. They've been matriarchal for hundreds of years. They are not successful. They're actually dying out because matriarchy, under a matriarchy, they never did gain economic nor military might, which is key for the success of any civilization. You're going to have to. They remained agrarian all this time. They never moved into industrial revolution. They never moved from that agrarian. Fix my glasses. What's wrong with my glasses? They never moved out of an agrarian culture. They were still having animals living and defecating and stuff like that in the house with them. They was living in cots, and you understand that? There was no success. Matriarchal or not, the younger generation of women were moving to the urban areas to live life in the mainstream. In a patriarchy. They were leaving that matriarchal setup to willingly go into a patriarchal setup to live. Thank you, Craig Amos. Said we appreciate you. I appreciate you as well. The matriarchies be failing. The matriarchies be failing. And it's not like there aren't any patriarchal civilizations that failed, but the ones that succeed, the civilizations with the longest success rate, the highest success rate, longest duration, all patriarchal, male ruled. And when they went into this matriarchy, gynocentrism, usually those patriarchies failed once they stopped being patriarchies. The fall of Rome was like that. Once they went into their form of transgenderism and women's rights and women can do what the men can do. Once they went into that was actually the decline of a civilization, not its upward mobility, but its decline. Thank you so much, Roger Report, for the super sticker. Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you, Southside Militia. Say hyenas, as long as you got your own house, car, and a job. Exactly. So what we're going to do, because this is probably going to be longer than an hour, because I cut short the other two. So we're probably going to go a little bit because I haven't even gotten to the clip yet, nor the premise of the show. So we're going to go to commercial break and then we're going to cook. So after these messages, we'll be right back.
Hey, brothers, I want to tell you about a website called blackmenszone.com. Now, Black Men's Zone is a site that specifically targets black men. It's a place where black men talk about issues that solely affect them. Now, at Black Men's Zone, the topics will range from news to society, sports, technology, business, food and recipes. Some brothers got to cook too. Gaming, and some of your brothers like doing some of that. Health and fitness, got to get your workout on. Music, movies, and many other topics. Now, there's not many forums around these days for black men, and because black men have to create them. Now, this particular website is more of a forum based, something simple, not social media. You can write what you need to write, say what you need to say, get on, get off pretty quick. But if you're interested, brothers, to at least go there, and I want you to check it out, engage in the topics, go to blackmenszone.com, sign up for an account, and get engaged in the conversation.
So you definitely want to hit the link at the top of the chat, blackmenszone.com, all right, which is a place for men to go, one of the forums for men. Think of it like a barbershop type space online so that men can discuss the things that interest them and that affect them the most. So you definitely want to go ahead, become a part of the conversation, or start one of your own. blackmenszone.com. I know I owe y'all a bam, 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 bam. You got to hit the like button. Bam, bam. You got to all right, because I don't know how many likes we need, but I know that we need some. All right, so now we can kind of head on into the real meat of this show, and I'm going to illustrate how black women's unhealed trauma. It's not men. It's not all men. It's not all men. It's not even all women, but the trauma. Thank you so much, Steve. Thank you so much, sweetheart. I'm late today. Just got in. No problem. Thank you so much. Just make a seat in the front row for my guy, Steve, and thank you. All right. Couple of false premises before we go. False premise number one. The reason why there's a continuous scuffle between these so-called, I'm going to call them hyenas, these strong and independent, I don't need no man, men are the problem type women, when they talk to women that they consider to be black male identified or mammies or whatever the case may be, whatever name that they want to apply, they think that we, as so-called black male identified women, think, number one, that all black men are saints and that we discount or make an excuse for every wrongdoing that they may do. That's actually false. The boneyard is full of males. I'll talk about that. The boneyard is full of males. Full to the brim. The boneyard is not a completely female space. The boneyard got males in that space. They are male hyenas. We call them maggles. They are the backbone of the gynocracy. They are the backbone of that. They keep the foolishness going because they excuse the foolishness. They don't hold nobody accountable for it. They participated in it themselves. These are the men that you are going to hear her refer to. The no good, being on a couch. He don't do nothing, for nobody. And you will have these same females giving they all to a dude that doesn't do anything, doesn't produce anything, and has not produced anything for years and has no potential to do so. She'll give her all to that man in a so-called relationship, i.e. a situationship. And then when he proves to be the red flag that she overlooked in the first place, now all men is like this. Now all of a sudden, all men is like this. And she gave her all to him and he didn't do nothing. And he was shiftless and he was, an idiot. He didn't have any vision. He didn't have any purpose. He didn't have any real masculinity that he was working with. He was just sitting around waiting on me to do something. He was sitting around with his hand out, begging and stuff like that to me. Waiting on me to come up with a few dollars. Waiting on me to come up with the rent. Waiting on me to come up with the fruit roll-ups on top of the refrigerator. You understand what I'm saying? Now she'll give her all to that dude. Give her whole heart, her body, her mind to this dude. He ain't worth 2 plug nickels. Okay? But the D is good. And she won't admit it, but the toxicity and chaos that he brings to her life feel good too. Because it feels familiar. These are broken women that deal with broken men. We know that. We see maggots all the time. Every lioness in here done ran into one of them. I done ran into one of them. Like, oh, dude, oh, come on, bro. You out of control. I'm not dealing with you. I am not giving you more time than I have already given you. The time that I have given you has been completely wasted. Because I see now that you just talk a good game, but I'm looking at your actions, and your actions ain't matching up with what you talking about. You just full of a lot of hot air, and I'm gone. See, the difference between a lioness and a hyena is the hyena is broken enough and stupid enough to stay. The lioness, once she figured out, if it take her a minute to figure that out, she'll be like, oh yeah, you one of them. You one of them. I don't need to deal with you. I don't need to waste no more time than what has already been wasted. This was too much. So not a moment more. Not a moment more will we spend. I'm not listening to nothing that you talk about because this is all empty. This is all empty. You done promised me something that didn't pan out. And I gave you a chance and you said something else and that didn't pan out. I gave you got a lot of excuses. So unless you can get yourself together, what you won't do is waste all of my time with your excuses. We'll see if you do anything. I'll leave and I'll stand back and watch and see that you do anything. We know all men are not lions. We know that. Lionesses know that. That's why we picky. It's easy to run. Sometimes them maggots got them F-19s got a good paint job on them. You get fooled sometimes. Sometimes you get fooled. But not for too long. Not for too long. Second misconception and false premise, that because we disagree with what they saying, that we don't understand what they said. See, that was a lot of what was going on in this chat room, because Sister George was giving some pushback, and she was actually giving lightweight pushback. She was actually trying to be diplomatic about it, although we understood that she didn't really agree with what Princella was saying. She didn't agree with her stance. Now, she agreed where she could, but then other things was just going too far for her. So she didn't want to agree to that. And they be thinking that when you don't agree, you don't understand. I understood you perfectly. It was just stupid. All right? And I don't agree with it. I'm disagreeing because I understood what you said. I understood exactly what you said. I understood what you meant by it. I understood where you were coming from. I also understand where you're going with it and the logical conclusions to that. I don't agree. I don't agree. Priscilla would not agree with nothing I talk about. But that shouldn't lead me to believe that she didn't understand what I'm talking about. If she listened to what I'm saying, she understands it. She just don't agree with it. And the third false premise is that hyenas think that lionesses are weak because we're not the leaders of the pride. That since lionesses are not the alphas of the pride, that somehow we have a weakness that prevents us from being that because we don't know our power, or we don't know our worth, or we don't understand how to step into our power. Yes, we do. Lionesses understand that the pride is her power. She doesn't work well without it. She doesn't work well without it. A pride of lionesses that loses their alpha can survive for a little bit, but they will, if no alpha comes to take them, they will look for one. They will look for a nomad and basically ask him to be their alpha. They'll go, they'll flirt, especially if they don't have little cubs. They'll go flirt. Do you understand? They'll go do a hunt and bring it back. See, we're capable. You should be the alpha of us. We done lasted one season with 4 lionesses. We pretty much raised our cubs, but this isn't gonna work long term. We'll die long term. This is a short-term remedy. Long term is that we need an alpha male. We just live a different life and we understand it. Now we can listen to her state. I just want y'all to hear it. I really just want y'all to hear it. Shout out once again to the Breakdown, because Sister George asked her the one question that was the most important in my book of the entire interview, because it said so much. All right, here we go.
Let me ask you this.
And the truth of this reality right now.
Let me ask you this.
I have to
hold on.
like what you said about. Go ahead, then.
Let me ask you this. What made you get to this point to where you woke up one day and you said, let me inform the women, let me get women in line? What was that final straw that made you get to that point?
Okay, so let me tell you something. I've always been intelligent. I've always been smart. I have done everything that I could do to work with Black men. And I ain't worked with no dusties. I ain't never dated a fucking thug, right? My mentor was a political activist in the Black community. Mm-hmm. He would always go to city council meetings, showed me how to go to city council meetings and all that stuff, politics, right? And guess what? He was the first one to work with me in music. He did the same shit that niggas do, right? Because they're using you as a tool for their own purposes, right? So that's the first thing, okay? First thing. Second thing, because before all this shit came about, I was pro-Black in 2006.
Mm-hmm.
So I was here before all this shit popped up on the
Right.
internet, right?
Right.
So the first nigga after him to mess over me was from the Nation of Islam.
So mess over you in what sense? Were you fucking around with the dude? He fucked you over. Him
and the so-called sister wife took about $40,000 from me.
Okay, so you were in a polygamous relationship.
So-called polygamous relationship, but clearly it was a game, manipulation. But this nigga was in the Nation of Islam. Now I'm dealing in the conscious community where the nigga's supposed to be righteous, right? Right? The nigga's supposed to be righteous. Cut the fucking games. They supposed to be righteous.
They supposed to be righteous.
All right. Now I'm prime age, right? I'm in my 20s, early 20s. Naivete, right? But I guess it's my fault for being naive at 20 years old. We're not gonna let
No. Nobody's saying that at all.
I'm not saying y'all.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the collective narrative.
Okay.
That women supposed to know every motherfucking thing with no goddamn life experience, and we don't hold these niggas accountable for nothing. But we.
Now I'm gonna pause her right there. Because the thing that she said prior to that is that the first trauma that she received was being raped at 12. Right? Now I feel sorry for that, because of all of the traumas that she explained, that's the one where there's no accountability for her. At 12 years old, you can't be accountable for what a deviant adult does to you. So if she was assaulted as a 12-year-old, then that fault and accountability lies 100% on the person that assaulted her, and also on any adult around her that may have failed in their ability or responsibility to protect her at such a young age. Anybody that is a minor that gets assaulted like that, that's never on them. That's never on the minor. It's always on the adult that does it to them. 100% of the time. Because a minor, a child, can be manipulated into situations. They can be manipulated. They can be told. They can be threatened. They can be bullied into situations that they are completely uncomfortable with and that they know is wrong, but they are powerless to stop what is happening to them. Okay? So that's the one, you got to get a mulligan on that. As a minor, you can't be held responsible. As a young 20-something-year-old, if you have not had a lot of experiences by that time with men or relationships or whatever, you can have a level of naivete. I'm willing to give her that. You can have, like, okay, I'm coming into a situation that I think or I assume that the people are going to deal with me a certain kind of way. And then they don't do that. They don't deal with me in the way that I thought that they would, or the way that they told me that they would. And I couldn't see the signs that they weren't going to do that they were going to do something completely different, because I guarantee you there were signs. Now, whether or not she understood them signs to be the red flags that they were, but I guarantee you he showed her red flags, because red flags can never be hidden. They're always, anybody who's a red flag gonna show you they're a red flag. 100%. They're gonna show it. Now, whether or not you can get the discernment to see the red flag, that's on you. Now, she goes into, she was supposed to be this young 20-something-year-old woman who had gotten into what she thought at the time was a polygynous relationship. And she says that they both stole from her, but she places the accountability. She's only talking about the dude and not the woman that was in with him to steal or siphon money from her. I'm going to let her continue. Because, see, this isn't even about the individual traumas that she experienced. This isn't even about that. But I'm going to let you hear her talk. She'll tell you about what she went through, but she's also going to tell you how she internalized it. How did she deal with that?
Say, oh, you choosing Pookies and Ray Rays, but it was a nigga from the Nation of Islam, right? Mm-hmm. That hit me for 40 grand. Okay. It was my mentor who was in politics in the conscious community, right? That ran some game on me. Okay. The next motherfucker was somebody who was supposed to be my friend. Set me up for $2,000, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. So I didn't have motherfuckers hit me for a lot of money. Let me tell you something. You don't continue to go through life and not learn a goddamn thing. Okay? So here's the thing. I done been raped by these niggas, raped at 12 years old. Let's cut the games. Oh, we're not going to sit up here and say that I'm damaged goods without no damn sense. I done learned my lesson through the school of hard knocks, right? So raped at 12, nigga played me for 40 grand. Another one played me for 2,000. Okay? He trying to set me up, my mentor trying to set me up for some political shit, right? I have a nigga rob me, okay? All right? Coming from, he put some, this is at the beginning of the internet thing, right? So they had this little modeling thing going on. To make a long story short, motherfucker set me up and robbed me, right? Okay, so this, I have a nigga, I sell him a CD, we play dominoes. He asked me to have sex with him. I tell him no. He pull out a gun and put it on the table and say, you know, I can take it if I want it. I'm not going to let none of y'all sit up here and ask me like these niggas ain't out of fucking control. Like,
well, let me ask you this.
Whoa. Let me finish saying what I'm saying. Because I got a lot of life experience. And the one thing is,
we all do.
Hold on. I'm in my own lane, doing what I'm doing, talking to the world. I'm not talking to niggas, okay? If they getting their feelings hurt by what I'm saying, because what I'm saying register with them, because I ain't put no color on what I said. I said men. Mm-hmm. I didn't say black men are incapable of love. I said men, right? Mm-hmm. And so I had a Mexican dude, took me on a date. This all in my early 20s now. Took me on a date and almost killed us, right? Almost flipped us off of the overpass, right? Okay? I got a lot of life experience, and I see these dudes. And the last straw that broke the camel's back, right? Oh, let's not talk about back in 2018 when I went out of town to Virginia. So I was pregnant at this time. And my ex-husband, to make a long story short, we got into an altercation and he bruised up my arm while I was 7 months pregnant. My phone butt dialed a guy that was supposed to be my friend at the time. We was always talking on the phone and doing live videos together at this time. My first place, I'm like, I'm stuck in the house. I got to get away. So I was going to go to New Jersey with my homegirl, my female friend, but she was busy at the time. But I still had money after having to sit my ass down, and I was going to get out of town just to hang out and just get away from that situation for a minute, right? I go, he say, okay, we can hang out. I'm doing the Black Panther party. You could come to the Black Panther party and all of this. And his girlfriend, we was all supposed to hang out. He told me, hey, you go stay here. I said, that's cool, because I was trained in the military, and I did my AIT training out there. I'm gonna see if I can link up with the people that I built a good relationship with out there. I want to see if they still there, right? So I get there, and this nigga flipped the script on me like it wasn't nothing. That motherfucker left me stranded in goddamn DC. He left me stranded in DC, right? All because this nigga switched up behind a chick and because he was fucking her, right? And I don't know what the hell happened between them, but he started acting real shady. But me and him was supposed to be cool friends. When I called him out on the fuck shit that he did, he started gaslighting me. This is male, but this nigga's supposed to be pro-black. This nigga's supposed to be.
But the thing is, though, Priscilla.
Now, I wanted to let her speak uninterrupted. Uninterrupted. Okay. Let me get to these super chats real quick. Nathan, thank you, says, easy to blame the gender you experience trauma with. Too many females don't know how good it feels to be protected by a man. This is true. Thank you, Eric, said, love your in-depth analysis. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much. Thank you again. Nathan says the difference between males and men. Thank you. Stella said she don't got a babysitter. Thank you to Esquire of Sports, said this woman always gets on my nerve every time I hear her. I wonder who did something to her, make her switch teams and become a stud. Now I see why. Thank you, MIA Adams. I never watched her before, but this is a hurt female that ever dealt with her trauma. And thank you once again, Nathan's experiences in childhood form presets, especially for females that lose their virginity through rape. She aligned to the trauma. Now she projects it. What you just heard was a woman who had experienced trauma, and now she's bitter and she's broken about it. It is unhealed trauma. It's unhealed. She has not healed from none of that she just said. None of that she just said. All of those experiences that she quickly ran through just to give everyone an idea of how she got to where she is. All of that she's still hurt by. There's a difference between healing from something and coping with something. You can heal from a trauma or you can cope with it. Okay? Let me get something straight. It's not the trauma itself. It's not the bad experiences themselves that make or break people. It's not, because everybody have bad experiences. Everybody have trauma. Everybody get into something. And it's like, oh man, you know what I'm saying? In a situation that could have broken them. Sometimes people do get broken by the things that they experience. They don't know how to come back from that. They don't know what to do about that. Whatever it is. So it's not the incident. It's not the trauma. It's not the trouble that you faced that makes or breaks you. Put a 1 in the chat if you want to know what actually makes or breaks you. Put a 1 in the chat if you want to know what actually makes or breaks you. What actually makes or breaks you is how you internalize trauma and traumatic or negative events in your life. It's not the event. It's how you internalize that event. It's how you see that event. It's what you've gotten out of that event that makes you or breaks you, because you can either heal or you can cope. Healing requires that you actually leave the lost value system where the trauma occurred. Coping is when you stay in the lost value system, but you move differently because you were hurt. Did we get that? Did we get that? You can either heal from a trauma or you can cope with one. Healing requires that you actually exit out of the lost value system where your trauma occurred. Because trauma occurs within the lost value system because somebody in the lost value system visited it upon you. That's why they were able to do you dirty and sleep at night. That's why they was able to do so. So you got two choices. You can leave the lost value system where the trauma occurred, thereby healing away from what it is. Now you can remember it, but you don't gotta live by it. It don't gotta dictate what you do next. Her trauma dictated what she did next. She coped with what happened to her. She healed from it. She coped. She said, you know what? I'm just going to move different now. I'm not going to leave the lost value system. I'm not going to leave because she might not have even known to leave it. But I'm just going to move different because these dudes out here moving a certain way. So I'm going to move a certain way. In all of what she explained, I didn't hear her take accountability for nothing. The only one I give her is the 12-year-old assault. The assault when she's 12. That she could not have helped or stopped. But all that in your 20s and all that kind of stuff, from man to man to man, and they seem like they were all the same kind of man. See, she internalized that as saying that must be what all men be on. They be on that type of time because every man I run into, just about every man I try to give myself to. I gave myself to a man in a marriage, had a child for him. I gave myself to another man, tried to be in a relationship with another guy, tried to be in business with one, tried to have, some type of, friendly business workings. Might have been screwing the guys too. Who knows? We only heard about 1/13 of all of them stories. I know when I'm not hearing a whole story. She, just like just about every other woman, will tell you the part of the story that make them be either the victim or the hero, but never the volunteer. Because if you was running with these dudes that was always scamming, then you was on scam too. You was on scam time. How you was not a part of no type of mindset that would allow you to be scamming on nobody. You wasn't with it. You wasn't trying to be with it or none of that stuff. And you just continue to attract the same kind of dude that was on demon time with the scams. And if he's scamming this one, and this one, you should have realized you were never out the picture. Because see, I watch what folks do. And if you can backstab that one and that one and that one, I swear to God, I ain't too special for you to do it. You will do it to me. I don't care how much you skin and grin. Oh, man, you my girl. Yeah, right. That was your girl too. I watched you as you said that to them before you stabbed them in the back. So the knife is ready for me. The knife is ready for me. So if you're going to be on that type of time with people, then you got to know that the knife is ready for your back, just like it's ready for everybody else's back. Because a scammer is an opportunist. They don't have no loyalty to nobody. They're going to do whatever it is they're going to do to try to get ahead or whatever they perceive to be getting ahead. And if you got to be thrown under the bus, if you got to go by the wayside, if your back got to get stabbed in order for them to do whatever it is they think they need to be doing, then that is what it is. Just prepare your back for the knife. That's why you don't hang with them type of people. That's why you don't intertwine with them kind of people. That's why you don't roll with them. I don't care about nothing about them trying to be in the conscious community. That's where 99% of the scammers be at. Who don't know that? %99 of the scams be coming through with the scam on the we black y'all and we black y'all and we blackity black the black y'all. That's the whole premise of the scam. That's how they get you to get your guard down, because you black y'all and we black y'all and we blackity black. You know, they come up with the blackity black, we the blackest of the black of the black. And oh, well, you know, hit me with the black hand side and we black sister, queen. That's why I don't rock with that. You a queen. Don't call me that. Don't call me that. Don't call me that. Because now you trying to gas. I don't know what you want. You know, you beautiful queen. Yeah, okay. Thank you. Have a great day. Queen, sister, mother, goddess of the earth, queen. Okay, you know, you're doing too much. You're doing too much. Because now I feel like you're buttering me up. You come over here with that kente cloth talking about no, hey, queen. You know, he is a smart queen. I know I'm smart. And what do you want? Is the question. Because, see, I'm all for my people, but we just got to keep it straight up. A lot of the scams be coming out of the so-called quote-unquote conscious community. And I ain't saying everybody. I'm just saying a lot of times it be, that's why we be laughing at hoteps and all that kind of stuff. And I'm not even like trying to take a crap on people that, you know what I'm saying, do the whole be one thing. Like, I'm not against that. Because I'm down for my people too. But I'm not about to come through and scam y'all and be trying to get over. But I didn't hear any accountability from the adult Princella. What I didn't hear was the reflection, not only on how the men did, not only on their culpability, not only on how they moved funny, but what was you doing that they was moving funny? You was moving funny with them. And it was good. It was cool when the gun was pointed that way. Ain't no fun when the rabbit get the gun. That's what I didn't hear. I didn't hear, you know what? And I contributed to it too, because, you know what I'm saying, I was on such and such type of time too. And I was rolling with a certain type of crowd. And these were the men that was in that crowd. These were the types of men. This was what they was on. This is the mindset that they had, a predatory using kind of mindset. But I ain't gonna lie, I was using people too. I was using them for what they could get, what I could get out of them. So we was both doing it. I didn't hear that. I didn't hear that. And that's where the problem is at, because she said something very key. She said, you don't go through life and don't learn anything. Yeah, but what did you learn? She learned that she wasn't the problem. Nothing that she was doing was problematic. It was all what the men was doing that was problematic. No, we're not buying that. I'm not buying that. And this is what Sister George was trying to get to. Female accountability. What was your accountability in that? Listen, let me tell you something. If you was attracting the same kind of man, then there was something about you that was attracting that man. And that's the part that she don't like. It was something about you. If you attract 15 men and they are all of the same ilk, no matter where you go, it's not that all the men are of the same ilk. It's that all of the men of that of that little demographic are all attracted to you because you're putting something out that they're attracted to. What she failed to say was the common denominator of all those situations was her. You are not a innocent bystander all your life of your own life. You're not. You're not. You got your hand in it too. And while you may not be able to control what other people do, you control how you respond to that. The flaw in her response to these situations was to say, it's gotta be them because it couldn't possibly be me. It is you. It is you. We do not change the condition of a people until you change what is in yourself. You change. And then the men you attract changes. There's a reason I no longer attract broken men to me. Broken and kind-hearted. Those are the kinds of men that I used to attract when I was young. They had their brokenness. They were kind men. They were nice men. They were good men, not necessarily nice. They were good men. But they had brokenness to them. The reason why I was attracting them is because that's who I was. I was a good woman, but I was broken in some key areas. So I was attracting that like energy. And when I healed, rather than cope with my traumas and the negative things that happened in my life, instead of coping with them, when I got to a place of healing it, I no longer attracted them men. Those men were not, they just wasn't around. Suddenly, they were not around. They would not talk to me. The only men that would talk to me was men that was in a similar space that I was in. Healing, not coping, and doing something else with their life. That is the voice of a woman who has never experienced a safe space from a man in her life, in her personal life. She has never experienced two things in one man. I'm going to tell you the two things in one man that she's never gotten. She's either gotten one and maybe not the other at all. A man break her down in the bedroom, just break it all the way off, legs shaking, eyes rolling. That. And that same man to create the emotional safe space. A real one. Make your legs shake and then give you emotional safe space. She might have gotten the breakdown in the bedroom. She may have gotten that at some point. But that second part, that's the part she ain't got. That's the part she don't understand because she ain't never experienced that. And it's not that she ain't experienced it because men are not capable of it. Men are plenty capable of it. But her energy, her mindset, the way in which she operate and move in this world don't attract that guy. She moved like I can hang and bang with the best of them. Ain't no dude finna tell. She moved like that with that energy. I can bang with y'all. I can make money with y'all. I can do this with y'all. And she may have the skill set to do some of that stuff. I'm not saying she don't. But she running with, or was at least running with a crowd that took advantage of that ability of hers to go hunt and come back. Go hunt and come back. How did a 20-some-year-old Princella get $40,000 to steal from? How did she get that? See, some of us just have a knack for hunting. We can just hunt. We just can do it. We can just go get a bag. Just go get a bag. I know plenty of women like that. You just go get a bag. Usually a man taught them how to go get that bag. And they just have a knack for it and they can just do it. Here's the difference between doing that as a hyena and doing that as a lioness. Because when you hunt as a hyena and you bring it back, the males don't appreciate it. Because the hyena female is not even supposed to feed the male what she hunt. That's for the females to eat. The males get what they can. The females get what they want. In a hyena clan, when the females go hunting or scavenging, they do not give to the male. They share among the other females. Because remember, in a hyena clan, every female is in a hierarchy above every male. The lowest ranking female is higher than the highest ranking male in a hyena clan. They don't feed them past cubhood. They don't do it. After a certain point being cubs, the male is cast away. He's not fed. The female cub is fed. He's not fed properly. He's fed the bones and the scraps. And if he can live, let him live. If he can't live, whatever. So the hyena male is not even raised or reared to appreciate the support of a female and a female's ability to help. He is not reared for that. This is why I tell lionesses to stay away from male hyenas, because the more you be a lioness around him, the more he gonna do you dirty about that, because he doesn't understand that and he don't even like that. The only male that appreciates it and will do right by it is a lion. And this is the difference between when a lioness hunts. When we hunt, we do it for the pride, and the pride appreciates it. We get what we need out of the pride. We get the protection, we get the problem solving, we get the procreation, we get the provision from it. We get that stuff. Our cubs are able to be reared properly, safely. And our ability to hunt it's a small sacrifice. It's just us doing our part in it to keep the pride strong, to keep it going. You build a big pride with a lot of lionesses that know how to hunt well. Lionesses that hunt well with strong alphas, those prides are extremely dominant. When we hunt for everybody. So the lioness doesn't look at it like we're being taken advantage of by the male that we hunt for. Because he's taking what we hunt with and making it good for everybody. I got to get something out of that. I can't not get nothing out of it. But a lion doesn't do you like that. Make sure you get nothing out of it. All for me, all for me, all for me, nothing for you. That is not how lion prides work. Not how it works. Because for as much as she hunt and the lion get the lion's share, we don't talk about the days that he's gone doing patrol around the territory and she hunting just the lionesses and the cubs eat. He's not even there to eat. Because he spent the last 2 to 3 days, maybe even 5, depending on how big his territory is, patrolling it. It's the unhealed trauma that actually keeps Black women lost. Not the patriarchy, not male nature, not even female nature. They be over there, not just her channel either, not even just her. It's a lot of them channels. These women be over there trauma bonding. That's not a healthy relationship. Trauma bonding, that ain't a healthy relationship with nobody. You bonding over the traumas that you had. And a lot of them didn't even have direct trauma. Listen, they be having indirect trauma, y'all. They be having hearsay trauma, y'all. Friend of a friend, man cheated on her, did a dirty, beat on her. So all the men do that. Even the women that, for all intents and purposes, you wouldn't be able to say nothing bad about her husband. She married. No, her husband don't be doing nothing to her. He don't beat her. He don't abuse her. He don't be doing her dirty. He ain't got her in a negative position or a bad position in life or nothing like that. And she'll sit somewhere and be on the internet talking about all men ain't ish. Where you get that from? I wonder what these women tell their 5-year-old sons and their 10-year-old sons. Well, you're going to grow up to not be ish, son. The rhetoric itself is lost value. Trying to put a negative spin on women are tools of men. Of course we are. But men are also the utilities of women. That would be called interdependence. And since human beings are a social group, we don't like to be alone. And we don't like not having the other energy around us. We like that. We get by much better with it. Yes, men can use, because she says things but she puts another perspective on it. And that's what get women caught up. Because she talks about the feminine energy being this creative energy and being this energy of, where a lot of positivity can be gained. And it is. The trick of it is that it is like that. Female chaotic energy is an energy that can be utilized for great good. It is a potential energy that waits to be turned into a kinetic energy. I've said this a million times. A woman's chaos is just an ingredient soup for whatever you want to build out of it. So if you want to build some negativity from it, you can. But you can also build positivity from it. Empires have been built because the men understood how to utilize the feminine energy to build it. Utilize the strength of the female. Where is her strength? Where are her strengths? And let us play to them so that we both can move forward. Listen. Got to stop buying into this white feminism. Because theirs have been the only historic patriarchies among a few that tried to move ahead while keeping a foot on the neck of the female. And don't give her no honor and no recognition and nothing else to say that she helped build this thing. And it was due to her playing up to her strengths as a woman that allowed us to do what we were doing. So the female chaotic energy is beautiful. Again, it's an ingredient soup. You get out of it what you want out of it. That's why we're chaos and men are order. That's why the feminine is chaotic and the masculine is orderly. You got to have something to put into order. Men are constantly looking for things to put into order. Women are a constant source of chaos for him to do that. He's supposed to utilize us. But see, everybody's supposed to be used. You just don't want to be misused. That's all. That's the only thing you don't want. Everybody got to be used because you need to be useful. What you don't want is to be misused. That's what you don't want. That's what we don't want. The misuse, the mistreatment. But being in a relationship with a man that utilizes you for your strength because your strength help y'all, him playing to his strength help y'all. Because I don't even know why you with a man that won't play to his strength to your benefit. See, this is the difference with the lioness. We work for the men, but the men work for us too. We are not in relationships with these men, not getting no benefit out of it. Duh. Not sitting there married 10, 15, 20 years and you ain't got a crust of bread to show for the benefit that he did you. That's why you go for men with vision. That's why you go for men with plans that he's actually acting on, not this someday stuff. Well, one day I might want to do. No. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. What's the plan today? What's the plan today to get to tomorrow? We're not just going to jump to what you want to do tomorrow. What's the plan for today to get to tomorrow? How are we getting there? How are we getting there? And I need that plan to make sense to me. Make it make sense to me. Because if it don't make sense to me, I'm not doing it. That's the deal with the lioness. If it don't make sense, I'm not doing it. I got to see where this is beneficial to you and to me. If we have children, how do it benefit the kids? So to sit up here and say men are the entire problem, that's a fantasy world. Themyscira does not actually exist. The place where Wonder Woman come from, that place don't exist for real. Where the women are dominant and the men's only use is to impregnate them when it's time to impregnate them. That is a fantasy. And it's a minority even in the fantasy world. It ain't a whole bunch of them that exist in the fantasy world. It's one. And all the multiverses in a fantasy DC and fantasy Marvel would be one. It's lost because it tells us we don't need each other. And that the mutual benefit that can actually be gained one from another has actually not served women. That's Feminism 101. Feminism 101 says that the way in which men operate, their nature, the way that they have built civilizations and societies have always been inherently detrimental to women. This is a woman that live in 2023 westernized North America, the United States of America, one of the freest societies for women in existence. She can go wherever she want to go. She don't have to have a man to travel with. She don't got to cover up her hair or her body. She don't have to prove she married. She don't have to do nothing. If she want to go somewhere, all she have to do is have the means to go and the desire to go. If she want to do something, all she got to do is have the means to do that thing or the desire to do that thing. That's all she got to have. She can travel. She can work. She can own a business. She can be an employer or an employee. She can be a mother without being a wife. She can be a wife and never be a mother. She can thought and never have a kid because she let Planned Parenthood swallow them. Whatever. No restriction on the chaos of women in this country. None. There are no significant barriers for women's freedom in this country. She can have mobility politically. She can have mobility socially. She can have mobility culturally. She can be in sports and entertainment. She can be in the economic, financial realm sector. She can be in the political sector. It's a female as a whole vice president of the United States. What significant oppression is actually happening to women in the United States? Not none. Not none. She ain't being discriminated against, and she can't go here and go there or get this job or make this money or do this thing or do that thing because she's a woman and we don't allow women to come into the facility because you're a woman. She's not experiencing that. She's never experienced that. She has not lived long enough in any society to have experienced that. From what I understand, she's born and raised in the United States. She was able to go into the military, make a living there, get whatever benefits she got from that. She seemed like she the type of woman that attract money to her. She know how to go get some money. So ain't nobody stopped her from doing that. Would die if she had to be somewhere else with a curfew and having a cover, and she can't go too far from her home without a male escort. She would die. But she over here in 2023 on a whole internet. Nobody's stopping her from doing that. Nobody's restricting her based on her gender or her being a woman from speaking her mind. Not a single soul. You can disagree all you want to, but you're not going to be able to stop her. I can sit here and disagree all day with what Princella say. But I am not in a position, nor do I want to be, to stop her. I'm not in position to stop. I can shut her channel down and stop her free speech and stuff. She got just as much right to say what she's saying as I got a right to say what I'm saying, whether we agree with it or not. Because that's where we live. We live in a country that supposedly upholds the First Amendment right of free speech. But it's dangerous. Some just because the free speech is protected doesn't mean that it's not dangerous. Why am I saying that it's dangerous? Because the women that follow her, she not going to be able to stop them women from wanting to be with men. She not going to be able to stop that. For all of the stuff and all the agreement that the women have in her comment section and stuff like that, and we agree, Princella, we love you, we love your message, that may be all fine and good. When they log off, they want them men. You cannot stop nature. You cannot stop biology. You cannot stop a woman's kitty from getting hot for a man. Not going to be able to stop that. And at some point, she's going to want to not just do the sex thing. She's going to want the whole man. She's going to want him to protect her. She's going to want him to help her. She's going to want him to make her life easier and better. That is what she's going to want. She's going to be craving masculinity out of a man. I have met stone, staunch studs. Studs. Do you understand? Women who would tell you that they are actual technical virgins, like they've never been penetrated by a man. And I've watched these women turn into jelly around the right kind of dude. Dude come around with that right energy. She become a whole female. Whole female. Oh, get the big eyes and everything. Probably ain't never felt that way about no man around no man. You know, get the big eyes. Get the googly eyes. I watched it happen. Right before my eyes. Oh, there's the woman. There she is. There's the woman. I have watched this stuff. And people I don't know, just observing people. She got a whole stud. I seen it one time. A whole stud had a girlfriend with her. And she, you know what I'm saying? She walking. Man, this dude passed. I don't know what it was about that dude, particular dude. That dude passed her by. She got the big eyes. She did. The stud did. She got the big eyes with that dude, like whole female. All right. Oh, there go the woman. There she is. It always be that one, don't it, sis? It's always that one, sis, to get you. Get you with the big eyes. You be having the big eyes. Well, I wonder what he... Well, I told you them studs be popping up pregnant. That ain't no accident. Let me get to these super chats. I'm sorry. Thank you, TS. A masculine tone would make it hard to be with her. Therapy, sweetheart. Thank you again. Nathan said, crazy is she cheated on her husband while prego. See, them half stories, right? What was the part that was left out? Don't play with me. I know when I ain't hear the whole story. Thank you, Black Marvels. I saw this earlier when you mentioned in your first sign video. Once she started talking about the poly relationship, I already knew what was up. Thank you again, Black Marvels said blackity black women are the main ones chasing after Brad. Thank you, MIA. Say now, Nathan, that was just a friend. Thank you, Eugene. Said when you described the definition of healing and coping and associated them with Princella, you described her perfectly. Thank you, Esquire. Said best analogy I've heard concerning is no joke, and I am not given to hyperbole or flattery. Thank you so much. Thank you, Phineas. Said, you know, it has become customary for women to make up trauma and grape stories to fit in. It does an injustice to the ones that really need help. I do not believe half of what I hear. Thank you, Wiggy Wheels. Said Tia Mowry's imaginary trauma made her single again. Thank you, TH, for the super sticker. Thank you, sweetheart. And thank you, Sean. It's another great and informative live stream. Always have excellent insights on your topics. Thank you so very much. Thank you, Tito. Say you calling it head on. And this is what I'm saying. And this isn't even, and if she hear it, I know she's going to take it like a shot. I'm really not shooting at her. But she's a prime example here of what it means to not have healed from something, but to have coped with it. Her cope is all men are the problem. Men are the problem, not women. And if women are problematic, it's because men made them problematic. Men had a hand somewhere, some way in their life or in their dealings with men that created a problematic woman. So if there is a problematic woman, she's only that because there are problematic men. So again, no accountability being taken. And her version of saying, no, I do make women take accountability for falling for the BS. But what's the BS? That men are men and women are women? Oh, she shouldn't have fell for the brainwash that she should help or support men because that's what men use you for, and then throw you away. We use each other. That's the news flag. That's the get you gotcha. We use each other. What don't women use men for? Anything from picking up a heavy item that we can't lift to doing our battles for us. That's why so many men be shooting each other and going through it all summer, because a lot of times it be a female that they be trying to protect, only they doing it the way a hyena male would do it. Without no discernment or nothing. We utilize men to go out into the world and actually build the external world. Women do not do this. The collective of women do not do this. Ever. We never do it. I ain't talking about just black women. I'm talking about no women. We do not go out into the world and figure some stuff out, from nowhere and then build it, and then the whole society can benefit from what we do. No. Women are self-centered and selfish, and we do things for our own gain. Period. So when we deal with men, you can't tell me a woman ain't getting nothing out of it. She getting something out of it. She may be too ashamed to tell you what she get out of it. She might not like to share what she get, but she gets something. She ain't dealing with no man, no extended amount of time. I don't care what you think about that man. I don't care if you think he a Pookie or Ray Ray or whoever. He don't do nothing and he ain't about nothing and all that kind of stuff. All he do is run the street, knock a fool and all that. And she been with him 5 years. She getting something. Now, it may not be a positive thing. It may not be a good thing that she getting, but she getting something. If it ain't nothing but this is the dude that buy my stamps every month and I can count on him to buy $150 worth of stamps every month. If it ain't nothing but that, she getting something. We don't deal with men that we don't get nothing from. We get something from it, whether that thing be tangible or not. Because women are too selfish not to. Or sit somewhere and say a man ain't never did nothing for her, but it be a man that puts you up on game. You heard her say her mentor was a man. So all of the stuff that she has learned and have gotten and stuff, because she with it, this is from men. All of the accreditations that she's gotten from, any type of degree or any type of certification, anything, these are all male institutions in America. Do you understand that? She told you her mentor. She didn't say her mentor was a woman. She said her mentor was a man. We still didn't really get the breakdown of how that went south. All she said was he messed her over, but she didn't say how. She didn't say how that relationship broke. That's what she didn't say. See, you got to pay attention to what they don't say. Because what they do say is a distraction away from what they aren't saying. They don't want you to hear what she didn't say. Never did tell us how that mentorship broke down. He was the one who taught me how to go to city hall meetings. And so he taught you how to move. He taught you mobility. Ain't that something? He taught you mobility, did he? A man, look at that, because men understand mobility inherently better than women do. And when you have a woman that actually understands mobility to a greater extent, understand that she learned what she learned from the men, how to move. I learned so much of what I know how to do from men. And it's not to say I never had a female mentor. I had a female mentor for femininity's sake and purposes. But how to move about in the world, I learned that from men. The entire intellectual property is from a man. I didn't make this up. I did not create the 10 life value system. I didn't make that up. So I'm not even going to sit here and act like there was no man that helped me get to where. That's a lie. That's a bald head lie too. When you see women that have moved up, it's a man that show her how to upgrade and how to move and how to do the mobility, because she may have some talents, but she may not be able to put it together with the mobility or put it together with the networking or put it together. And it be a man that give her an order so she can put her talent to use and blend that with what she needs so she can move forward. It be men that do that. And that don't take nothing away from the talents of the woman. For all of the accolades that Whitney Houston get for being the voice, her voice was beautiful. We know how Whitney sounds. But what would she have been without that machine behind her? What's his name? Clive Davis. And you can say what you want about him. You know, we can go down that rabbit hole. But just on the surface of the success of her career, her singing career, a lot of times she was doing them interviews and said, I didn't even want to sing these particular songs. And, you know, I couldn't feel nothing with the song. The song be a hit. It'd be a whole hit. I didn't even want that song. I want a completely different song. Let me see. Thank you, Simone says she attracted scam artists because that is what she is now. The nonsense she is peddling to women is basically a scam. Pretending that women don't need us is a scam. Exactly. Thank you, M. Desire said you are hitting the nail on the head. Thank you for recognizing what's not being said. She won't tell people she married a man almost twice her age and he was a traditional man. She never speaks on it. We never hear why that relationship broke. She mentioned a bruising of her arm. And what happened 20 minutes before that? And 2 years before that? Was he always abusive? Was he abusive before you got pregnant? And if he was abusive before you got pregnant, why'd you get pregnant with his baby? See the things that are not said. The things that are not said. And it's told like that for a reason. She's not stupid. She's not stupid. Princella's not stupid. Princella knows exactly what she's talking about. She knows exactly what she's saying. She knows what she's saying. And she knows the effect of what she's saying. That's why she's saying it. She's not stupid. Jim Jones wasn't stupid either. See what I'm saying? Wasn't stupid. Know what they doing. They know what they saying. They know who they talking to. There are few bonds stronger than a trauma bond that you believe in with all your heart. Mad because the lioness fights for good imagery of Black men. Like I said, it's not that we don't know that there are bad apples in this bunch. We know the bad apples. We understand who they are. But they're not even in the conversation. When I talk about women being loyal to their husbands and being good to their husbands and being feminine with it, I'm not talking about these scrubs and F-19s out here that couldn't give a rat's behind about nothing. I'm not talking about him. He's not in the equation at all. Just like people didn't like it when I broke down old boy that was crying about being stood up at the date. It wasn't about him being a bad dude. But I was trying to get the women to understand there's a difference between a nice man and a good man. Because I've met so many good men. They're not always nice, but they good. Because good men can't be nice all the time. He can't be nice all the time because he understands being nice, there's a time and place for that. Trying to tell you, oh, you bashing the brother. No, I'm not. But I'm trying to get women to understand there's a difference between nice and good. Just because a dude is nice doesn't necessarily mean he's good. Go for the good guy, not the nice guy. Because the good guy not always going to be nice, but he will always be good. My husband is a good man. He's a good man. He's not always a nice man. I've seen him not quite be nice. Not ridiculous, just not very super nice. But good though. Doing good things. Having good intent and good actions with people. But I seen that other side with my husband, a whole Aries. I done seen that fire come through. I done watched it. Like, oh, that's where it is. It's just right below the surface. Don't gotta go too far down. He's a good man. My first husband was the same way. My first husband, he was a good dude, but he wasn't necessarily no nice dude. Actually, he was kind of mean at Mean Street. He low-key mean. Kind of unsociable, hard to get, to know, hard to get to know him. But he was a good dude, though. You needed help, he's going to help you. He saw you was down, he'd help you. If you needed a kind word, he could give it to you. But he just wasn't on smiley, happy. Oh, yeah. He wasn't super agreeable. Nope. You come through with some foolishness, he look at you, give you that look. Like, I know or no, you ain't talking to me. And my current husband, the same way. You come talking stupid, he give you that look. Call you right out. Call it right out to your face. Nah, So why you saying that to me? Who you think you talking to with that? Who you think you playing with that? You gonna have to come again. You have to say that again. Do that again. Regroup. Because I know you didn't come here. You're gonna have to regroup. The men know what I'm talking about. The difference between a good man and a nice one. See, the men she was dealing with, they was being nice to her, but they weren't being good guys. They were being nice. I met dudes a whole scam. They're very nice. Very polite. Very polite. Ted Bundy was a nice man. Stop playing. Wasn't Ted Bundy a nice man? He's a nice man. But was he a good one? See, he got to be nice to you to get you around. Could come around so I can do you any kind of way. That's how the woman, I think it was one of his victims, got away. That's what she said. He was so nice and cordial and polite and charisma. He's a nice man. But is he a good man? Derek Jackson is a nice man. Oh, was I not supposed to go there? I'm sure when you meet Derek Jackson, he's very nice. I'm certain he's not off-putting. I'm certain when you get around him, he's very charismatic. He's very polite. He'll open the door. He'll scoot the chair back. He'll smile. He'll tell you what kind of nice outfit you've got on. Is that a good dude? Or is he just nice? Thank you, Courtney said R. Kelly was a nice man. Everybody say Kels is nice. Everybody say Kels is nice. You can't. She ran into nice men, but they were not good men. And to this day, she's allowing those things to dictate what she's doing now. That is why you're supposed to heal. So that the incidents and traumas and negativity of the past does not dictate your present and your future. You cannot allow, because if it's dictating it, you still being controlled by it and you have not healed from it. I could recall to you some of the traumas that I went through in childhood, but a lot of that stuff I've forgotten because I don't live in it no more. I don't live in that hurt and that pain. I couldn't even talk to you about it with passion like I could 10 years ago. 10 years ago, I talked to you about it and cry. Now I can barely remember some of that stuff because it's old, dead, and stinking. I done moved on. I'm 45 years old. What I'm still hung up on that stuff for? I done hung with y'all 2 hours. I love y'all. I'm going to go ahead and cut this short, though. Well, it ain't really cut it short. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. So jump down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I'm your hostess, The Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.